All right, as we finish up our drafts for our research report, um, we need to think about the sources that we used for our information. And I cannot stress enough the importance of putting your information where you find your research in your own words. Okay, unless you are using quotations or cite the source within your text, um, you need to put that information um, in your own words, okay? You're going to define any special vocabulary that you might use. Um, and then you're going to need to provide a works cited page with your sources, okay? On your screen, here's some examples of how to cite sources, okay? Um, it gives you here a book example. All right, a book, you start with the author's name, last name first, and then first name. You're going to then put the title of the source you used. Um, then you're going to look for where it was published, who published it, and in what year it was published. Okay. Magazine articles, same story, except for you'll probably use a certain article, but then it comes out of a bigger magazine. The issue number and volumes. Online articles, which is probably what most of you will use. You state the author first, last name first, and then first name last. What article you got, where you got it from, when it was put on the internet, the website, and then the date that you found that information online. Okay, you're going to include author, title, publisher, and publication year for each source in your bibliography or works cited page. So, your sources should be listed alphabetically by author's last name or by the article title if there isn't an author named for your piece. So you'll see here that's why the B is first, then L, and then S. They are alphabetized. So you are going to work to create your works cited page using the information from where you found all your sources and information for your research. And I'd like you to pause the video now and work on doing that before we look at the kind of overall lesson view in your student book. So pause the video, work on your works cited page where you list all your sources. You can use this example if you pause it, and then come back when you have them all listed. All right, turn to page 766 in your student book. In a research report, good writers provide facts that they have found in reliable sources. Sorry, I was trying to say reliable and sources together, apparently. Writers develop their topics with clear statements of facts, details, definitions, and quotations. They use headings to identify each main topic and precise language to describe the topic. These are all things we've either talked about this week or we worked on last week. Writers also use specific words and phrases to connect their ideas. Okay, this is Maya, and she has revised her report, and she used more precise language and added definitions of any scientific terms. She also added her headings, because remember, that's a very important feature of a research report. So, here we have, instead of animals, she used more precise language with mammals. Here's her heading, water habitats of hippos. Because their bodies dry out, okay, she used the fancy scientific word dehydrate or dry out in the sun. Hippos spend lots of time in water. They could sense a predator, an animal that would attack them, okay, they defined predator, while underwater. That's because hippos' eyes, nostrils, and ears are on top of their heads. All right, let's look at her final copy of her research report. The amazing hippopotamus. What is a hippopotamus? Hippopotamuses are huge African mammals that may be related to pigs and whales. Their name, however, means river horse in Greek. Then we have another heading, water habitats of hippos. Hippos live near rivers and lakes in Africa. Because their bodies dehydrate or dry out in the sun, hippos spend lots of time in water. They can sense a predator, an animal that would attack them, while underwater. That's because hippos' eyes, nostrils, and ears are on the tops of their heads. Hippos can also walk underwater and can stay there for 5 minutes. Cyril Mayo said in All About Hippos, "These barrel-shaped beasts have been known to hold their breath for 30 minutes." Hippos certainly have amazing talents in water. No wonder they seem to be related to whales. Okay, reading as a writer. How did Maya treat the sentence she copied from one of her sources? And how else could Maya have used that information? Right here, she cited who said it, in what book or article. This is a book, we can tell, or a magazine. And then she put quotations around his exact words. Okay. She could have also put these in her own words, but really this is something that definitely should be quoted because that's a very creative way to say it. So as you work on revising today, you are going to look at this checklist here. Did you introduce the topic and group related information? Did you include facts, definitions, and quotations? Did you use headings for each of your main topics? Did your closing sum up your main idea? That's something Maya did a really good job of in her final copy. And did you use mechanics correctly? Remember, mechanics are all those important things we talked about in grammar. Okay? So you are going to revise your drafts, making sure the introductory paragraph's interesting. Replace vague words with more precise language. Put the information in your own words. Include facts, examples, definition, and quotations. Use appropriate section headings and illustrations, maybe, to make your report clear. And then your concluding paragraph should review and summarize the main points in your report.